Well, hello. Michael here, looking today at Psalms 35, specifically verse 12 through 14 for the exposition. Let's go ahead then and read those three verses. Verse 12. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. Verse 13. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. And verse 14. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily, as one that mourneth for his mother. And so we look to the treasure of David for the exposition. Verse 12. They rewarded me evil for good. This is devilish, but men have learned the lesson well of the old destroyer, and practice it most perfectly. To the spoiling of my soul. They robbed him of comfort, and even would have taken his life had it not been for special rescues from the hand of God. The wicked would strip the righteous naked to their very soul. They know no pity. There are only such limits to human malice as God himself may see fit to place. Verse 13. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. David had been a man of sympathy. He had mourned when Saul was in ill health, putting on the weeds of sorrow for him as though he were a near and dear friend. His heart went into mourning for his sick master. I humbled my soul with fasting. He prayed for his enemy, and made the sick man's case his own, pleading and confessing as if his own personal sin had brought on the evil. This showed a noble spirit in David, and greatly aggravated the baseness of those who now so cruelly persecuted him. And my prayer returned into my own bosom. Prayer is never lost. If it bless not those for whom intercession is made, it shall bless the intercessors. Clouds do not always descend in showers upon the same spot from which the vapors ascended, but they come down somewhere, and even so do supplications in some place or other yield their showers of mercy. If our dove find no rest for the sole of her foot among our enemies, it shall fly into our bosoms and bring an olive branch of peace in its mouth. How sharp is the contrast all through the Psalms between the righteous and his enemies. We must be earnest to keep the line of demarcation broad and clear. Verse 14. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I waited on him assiduously, comforted him affectionately, and sympathized with him deeply. This may refer to those days when David played on the harp and chased away the evil spirit from Saul. I bowed down heavily, as one that mourneth for his mother. He bowed his head as mourners do. The strongest natural grief was that as he felt when they were in trouble. The mother usually wins the deepest love, and her loss is most keenly felt. Such was David's grief. How few professors in these days have such bowels of compassion. And yet, under the gospel there should be far more tender love than under the law. Had we more hearty love to manhood, and care for its innumerable ills, we might be far more useful. Certainly, we should be infinitely more Christ-like. He prayed best that loveth best. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.